Welcome back to TV 48 Update. I'm your host, Catherine Pugh. I'm talking with Dr. Ellis. He's written several books in reference to diet and also this whole this carb scam, this net carb scam, the one that probably has a lot of people confused when they go to the store looking for the low-carb diet. Talk to me about what it is people need to look at in terms of just trying to control their weight.
To control their weight, they have to look at the calories that they burn, physical activity, how much they move, and the calories that they eat. Now, that's the main controlling factor. Now, there's all kinds of things that impinge upon that, like diet composition.
Right.
That will help people control how much they eat. That's why the low-carb diet is good, and it is good.
Okay.
Atkins' version of it is no good because it's based on flaws. Now, the new idea of good carb, bad carb is flawed too. And they're using some, what I call junk science, to try and justify the notion that some carbs you can eat and it won't affect you. And the things we're talking about it affecting is the blood sugar level and the insulin level. Just, as I told you, the carb gets converted to fat. So the glucose is blood sugar, that's the carb that was digested from your belly, and that's what's getting converted to fat. So what they're saying is if a carb causes a spike, a high blip in your blood sugar level after you eat it, that is the determining factor of how fat you get. Also a blip in insulin. All right? So that's what they're talking about. Whether a carb impacts your glucose or insulin. But the spike is totally irrelevant. It has no meaning whatsoever. What is important is how much carbohydrate goes into your blood throughout the whole day. That's the important thing. So we need to control the total amount of grams of carb we eat. And we must count all the carbs. Any carb you can't count is fiber carb, because we can't digest fiber. But they're putting things in the food called sugar alcohols to make it sweeter.
Right.
I mean, you have baked goods, which by definition are carbohydrates, and they're trying to show them out to us as if they're okay now. That's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've even seen some of the major manufacturers of some of our baked goods put low carb.
Oh, they're all doing it, you know, and I haven't found one person who is not confused by this. That's why I wrote the Net Carb Scam book. They're all confused. They're all buying it. People are calling me up, oh, I went low carb and it worked last time, and now I'm actually gaining weight. First thing I say, are you eating on net carbs? Yes, I am. There's your problem.
So when you turn the package over to the back, what do you look at?
You look at the total number of carbs, and the only ones you can subtract are the fiber carbs.
Okay.
And then if you know how to do, which I teach in my book, if you know how to do a low-carb diet properly, then you'll know how many grams of carb you should be eating a day. And at least you'll have the diet portion of your weight control program set. Then if you use the rest of the book, you'll get every other aspect of your weight control program set.
Give us an example of a low-carb
all meats. Meats have no carbs at all.
Okay. All meats.
Right. Eggs, butter. There's no carbs in that.
No carb.
Your classic carb foods are grains, fruits, and vegetables. And generally the fruits and the grains are higher in carb than the vegetables, although there's some vegetables that are high in carb, like potatoes.
Right.
But leafy things, there's hardly no carbs in them at all.
Okay.
Tomatoes, onions, hardly any. You can eat those all day long. They won't bother you. So no calories either.
Okay. So what's a good breakfast?
For me, a good breakfast would be eggs, bacon, meat, anything like that.
And a good lunch?
Same thing. Of course, I don't typically eat breakfast.
Okay.
I don't have a first meal till around lunch and then meat for dinner. And will I eat junk? Yeah, every now and then. I know how much I can eat and get away with. I just don't eat much of it. Cookie, ice cream. I can get an ice cream cone and take 2 bites and throw the rest of the cone away. So I just judge the whole thing by my weight and by my appearance. And I eat by knowing the amount of food I'm eating in a day. So I eat low carb. I don't even count my calories anymore. I eat by portion size. And after eating a certain way for a couple of weeks, I see what changes have occurred, and then I can tweak it if I want.
So what's the lesson in this book?
The lesson in that book is that I teach people every strategy they need to know to control their body weight. That's never been done before. No one has ever put everything between the front and back cover of a book before. And correct information, not just my ideas. This program is not my idea. It's the body's idea. I just teach you how your body works. All the plans out there are based on somebody's idea. It was Atkins' idea, for example, that carbs were the cause of overweight. They aren't. Calories are. So his idea was wrong. South Beach is good carb, bad carb. That's not right. The guy doesn't even talk about the importance of exercise and calories. He says if you just eat the good carbs, stay away from the bad ones, you'll reach your ideal weight. That's impossible.
So no matter what you eat, you still got to do some exercise.
Oh, you could get lean on cake if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. It's not the best way to do it. It's not optimal, but you could do it.
Okay, we'll talk some more. Stay with us. We're talking with Dr. Ellis. He's the expert. We'll be right back.